Well, you may have walked by him without the foggiest idea about his past. He's in Alaska with his wife, looking to the future, but having the hardest time forgetting what happened to change his life 2 years ago. For an introduction, let's turn to James Sears. Hi, James.
Hi, Ty. His name is Richard Berthelot. This is a man who shares his situation with thousands, trying to find again the American dream. He loves his new life here. He's going to school, but he is still wounded by that change, and so he's not ready yet to call Alaska home.
Richard Berthelot is living life, taking classes at UAA for a degree in petroleum engineering. He moved to the Great Land 2 years ago and admits it took him and his wife a while to get used to the different landscape.
When we first got here, the weather was actually beautiful. And, you know, we liked the people. The people was pretty nice to us when we first came in and stuff like that. And then we went through our first winter. It's like, whoa, it's cold.
That first winter was especially tough for Richard, who suffers from a common disorder of the lower spine called degenerative disc disease, or DDD. The cold weather aggravates his condition, and he's now looking to leave. He never imagined 2 years ago that it would ever be an issue living in warm, sunny New Orleans.
Alaska's been good to us. We prospered here. And it's just that we accumulated so much that we don't feel like losing it again like we did during the hurricane.
Hurricane Katrina tore through Richard's hometown that early August morning of 2005. The storm breached the levees that protected the city. In the end, 80% of the town was underwater. Tens of thousands camped out on rooftops, moved around in boats, and gathered in shelters. And through losing everything, Richard had one thing on his mind: hope.
Those that survived the storm spread out across the country. Richard Berthelot was one such man yearning for a fresh start, and he found it right here in Alaska.
We first met Richard in downtown Anchorage, one of 80 families looking to settle into our state. With bright-eyed optimism, he was eager then to find a job as a cook.
It would mean a whole lot, because that means future's finally getting built back up again, and finally getting our life started again.
Well, he never did land that dream job. Since that day, it's been a long road, and he's grown closer with his family. He wouldn't trade his time in Alaska for anything.
It also helped us because we seen what else was out there, and we started, gaining more, I guess, I want to say self-confidence in ourselves, because we learned that we can go through something like that and then prosper more, in different ways.
And though he loves it here, it's not home. Richard and his wife miss the southern culture and are saving up for a move back to the Big Easy. For now, it's anything but.
Louisiana's always been my home, basically, and it became my wife's home, and we eventually want to go back, when the time is right.
He says it was difficult getting used to the Alaska winters, but since money is tight right now, it looks like he'll have to put up with one more.
Now today, the president checked out the recovery efforts in New Orleans. He says he's committed to rebuilding the city after he's convinced that the levees will hold. And across Louisiana today, bells rung out at 9:38 this morning, the time the storm hit 2 years ago. This to remember the 1,600 people who didn't make it out. Ty?
Well, James, back to Richard. Alaska certainly wasn't a random destination, was it?
Well, that's right, Ty. Richard says he and his wife moved up to Anchorage when his stepdaughter sent them 2 plane tickets. Now, she's stationed over at Elmendorf Air Force Base and is up for a transfer in 2 years. So the Berthelots are hoping to have everything ready to go by then because they want to be with family, and that's in the South. Richard says he misses the old Cajun cuisine, and every now and then has his favorite foods shipped up here, like the Louisiana shrimp and the crawfish. Ty?
Not a lot of options for that up here.
Not that many.
Okay, thanks a lot. James Sears tonight. Great story. When we come back, cleaning up.